Hi, I'm Tanya Toria. This week we've been studying about work, and I'm pleased to share a time in my life when work was a great benefit to me, and I had to work hard, but there have been so many blessings that came from it and are still coming from that time in my life when I worked hard. So I was a young mother when I was called to be a seminary teacher, and we had 25 wonderful students. I got to know each of them very, very well. I live in New Zealand, and so seminary is an early morning class, and our class was at 6 a.m. in the morning, 5 days a week during the school term. Let me share with you some of the logistics about being a seminary teacher as a young mother. Firstly, I had small children who couldn't be at home by themselves while I was away at the chapel, and so I organised a roster. I had people from my ward who were willing to come and sit with the children while I went off to seminary. That was so helpful. I didn't have a driver's license, and so I couldn't drive myself to seminary. The chapel is about 25 minutes away if I was walking, and I was blessed that my husband actually started work very early in the morning, and so I would get myself prepared and he would take me up to the chapel in the car with all my books and things. I would have a backpack packed with running clothes, and so after seminary class I would get changed into my running gear and I would run home. The benefit of this, which I didn't realize till much later, was that I became very fit and very healthy and very active because I had to run those streets every morning to enable me to get home in time for my children. I'm a seminary graduate, and so I felt the responsibility of being able to teach and share the gospel, the principles and doctrines of Christ with young people every morning, and some of them didn't want to be there. I worked hard to be their friend as well as their teacher, visiting with their families, visiting with them, making phone calls when I knew they were struggling, and also to celebrate victories. I had one student that had decided one day she wasn't going to come to seminary anymore, and I thought to myself, well, I'm not taking that for an answer. And the next morning I turned up at her house and knocked at the door and said, I'm ready. And she said, I thought I said I wasn't coming. I said, I know, but you really need to come. And she became one of the most stalwart, brave students. She gained a thorough testimony of Jesus Christ for herself, and she was able to lead other students. Some of the wonderful benefits of teaching seminary was being able to see young people come to love and trust and have faith in Jesus Christ, our Saviour and Redeemer. It was being able to hear them share their testimonies often in fast and testimony meetings, in our class, and also in other youth programs, including their seminary graduations. It was a wonderful time for my family as well, as we prepared ourselves to be able to be instruments in the Lord's hands to do good work. My husband at the time wasn't a member of the church, but he was very supportive, and I've always been grateful for the way he supported me and my callings, because they've always entailed a lot of effort, a lot of work, and it makes me think of how Elder Christopherson describes work as being part of a consecrated life. One of the best blessings that has come from being able to teach seminary in those early years is to now be able to see the fruits of it in the lives of those students. My Relief Society president is one of my students, and she often talks about her time in seminary and how it helped her. She also served a mission. Primary president is one of my seminary students, and she too served a mission and often talks about how much she enjoyed seminary. And I know it wasn't me. I know it was because of what they felt by the Spirit, but it's wonderful to know that I got to be a part of that through the effort and work. And I know we say sacrifice, but it does not seem like a sacrifice at all.